Hello everybody and welcome to another chaotic live stream. I thought we would kick things off with Olive and Charlie being out. Charlie is so excited. Oh my goodness. You want to say, hi everybody. It's Charlie Bear. Where are you? Woohoo! There he is. Can you guys see me? Because it's not working on David's screen.
I'm getting an advert, that's why.
Okay.
It's being blocked. There you go. Now
Here I am, Charlie. Don't stop the live stream. Come here. Right, hi guys. Always good fun. Here's baby Olive. She's so beautiful. She wants to bite the camera, but she's very pretty, and she wanted to say hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you so much for coming to yet another live stream of my new baby, aren't you? These guys are going to be out for a short period of time because, as you can tell, they're very excited about the laptop, and we don't really want to break the laptop today. We'd like to have a live stream that goes the whole hog, don't we? So they'll be out. They're going to run the live stream, apparently. They've got a lot to say to themselves. And we'll do, as the usual, we'll do a little catch-up of what's been going on. And if you have any questions throughout the live stream, drop them in the chat. David is helping me in the chat. He's next to me. I know. And I will answer any of your questions. We'll have a little chat and that kind of thing. But thank you so much for coming today, guys. Charlie, I'm so worried he's going to press end stream. Yay. So smart. That's what he does. When we put music on, he dances like that. I don't know why I'm tucking my hand in. Right. Every time we start these live streams, they just throw me off because it's just crazy, isn't it? Would you like to have a snack? Like, I put some snacks here. You want a snack? No. Does Olive want a snack? Should we bring... Go. Okay, fine. We just crack on with this. Yes, right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Special hello and thank you to our Patreon members and YouTube channel members. It's always lovely to see you guys here and the regulars and all the newbies and everyone being here. It's always a pleasure to see you. Things are good here. Nothing too particularly wild to report. I think Olive wants a snack. Yeah, I love you, baby. Let's go on there. Yeah, we'll go on there together. Lovely. So let's update you on a few bits and pieces. Hi, everybody coming in. Welcome. Right. Firstly, I'd like to say it's getting to that time of year now where we have to have the main light on for live streams and stuff, which is kind of annoying because it has like a yellow tint. So I think we need to get some white light bulbs. It doesn't look too bad on this camera. It's fairly high quality, but generally speaking, it's not great. But I wanted to bring that up because some of you may not be aware of some of the potential issues surrounding lights and things like that. So generally speaking, if you want to know whether your main light is, or lamps for that matter, are kind of like safe. Well, hello, Olive, you come in. Let's go back. Do you want to go back? No. If you want to find out if your main lights or lamps or anything are safe, what you want to do is open up your phone onto the camera and start filming your light in slow-mo and just kind of move your phone like this around the light. And then when you watch it back, if that light is kind of going like this and flashing, that probably means that that's what your birds can see. Now, you might be thinking, well, I can't see it. What difference does that make to my birds? But they see things at a higher frame rate than us. And while we can't know exactly what they can see, generally speaking, if it's flashing on a slow-mo video, there's a good chance it's probably what your bird's going to see. And that actually can account for some behavioural problems or stresses that people, they've tried everything. They've tried all the techniques, but that might be the missing link. So it's worth, in any of the rooms that your birds live in, film the lights on slow-mo mode, move your phone around, watch it back and see if that is flashing and if that could be a potential issue for your birds. That's completely off topic to what I was going to talk about today, but I thought I'd mention it because not everybody is aware of that. And you can also do it with your TV as well. I mean, generally speaking, if you've got a fancy TV, it's going to be fine because a lot of them have high frame rates. But it's good to know because, again, it may account for some of the behaviour you can't quite put your finger on what the problem is. So let's have a look at my little list. I've been kind of busy. I was busy yesterday anyway. So I went to London with Charlie's previous owners. We are in contact with them all the time. They may even be in the chat. I'm not going to say who they are. But we had a lovely time in London. We went to go and visit the wild non-native Indian ringnecks that live in Hyde Park. when I used to live in London, they used to be in the garden and everything. They're so cool. But in London, if you have some snacks in your hand, like sunflower seeds or nuts and things, and you hold your hands out, the wild ringnecks will come and they'll land on your hand and they'll come and start snacking, which is a really cool experience. It was lots of fun, and even like the little great tits would come down and say hello, and the pigeons are there, the squirrels. It was really good fun, and it's a nice experience to kind of get up close to a parrot out in the open. Now, some of you might be sitting there thinking, Sophie, why are you interacting with wild birds and parrots and stuff like that when you have birds at home? We did a video, well, David filmed it, but we did a video on Patreon recently about the biosecurity measures that we take when we come into contact with any birds, whether that's wild birds, birds from the zoo that I worked at, or anyone else's birds, clients' birds, anything like that. We have quite strict biosecurity that we do in order to make sure that our birds are safe and everything like that. So I wanted to, make that obvious for anyone who's like, what on earth are you doing? We have protocols in place, very strict about it. But it does mean that, because we're so strict, we can kind of open up our world to interacting with other birds. So if you are around London, I would recommend it. It's really fun and interesting to do. What do you want? You want to come over? Baby Olive wants to come and have a little snack. Can you say hello, everybody? Can you say hello? Oh, she's so smart. Does Charlie Bear want a snack? He wants a poopy. Okay. And then after going to see, are you talking to me? After going to see the Indian ringnecks, we went out for a really lovely breakfast, like an Indian breakfast, which is a bit different. It was very yummy. And then I went to have lunch with my mum, and it was all very nice. So it's you cha, and we talked all about cha. Cha. It's for Charlie. Okay, you can have it then. So yeah, it was a nice busy day. And we've been kind of pretty busy in general. We actually painted this whole room, which was fun because now it's covered in fruit all over the walls again, but it did need a freshen up. So that was interesting. And of course, we were very particular and we got bird safe paint from a company called Little Knights. It was all completely like VOC free and that sort of thing. And it was perfectly safe. But obviously we moved the birds into other parts of the house because we don't want to paint when they're around because you'll just cover them in paint. And then our next fun thing is we have to replace the flooring. Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, I know. It's so exciting to replace the flooring and spend thousands of pounds on that. Yeah. But essentially the carpet in here is pretty gross. I mean, we wanted to change it for a while now. But again, having to search for bird-safe flooring with low or zero VOCs and getting a company to come and quote and stuff like that. Making sure there's no adhesives or glues or anything used in any of the process on it. You little monster, come here. Right, she's going to get in the way of the screen. Come here. Come here. Good girl. This is what I mean about them being out for a short period of time. And Anna, oh my goodness, Anna, I have seen your question, so I will reply to your question in a second. But yes, oh my goodness, what are you doing, Charlie Bear? We are going to be replacing the flooring. It's kind of annoying, but it's all scheduled in. And we'll have to see how the birds react to that because they've interacted with like the flooring in the hallway and the kitchen and stuff like that, but never in this room. So I think Charlie's getting quite interested in what David's doing. So I may pop them back in a minute. What you doing? We're having a live stream. What are you doing?
What you doing?
You want to come here?
What you doing?
Do you want to come here? Come in. Almost. Good boy. And then we just get, yeah, you're a good boy. Can you say hi, everybody? We're just going to get a view of Olive's tail. How amazing. What you doing? Can you say hi, everybody? You're just so excited. Oh, my goodness. You're so funny, aren't you? Can you say, I love you? I love you. Baby bird. Baby. Can you wave at everybody? Wave. Oh, and a kiss as well. Oh, lucky viewers.
I think it's wood floor, wood PVC.
Yes, so sorry, I'm not keeping up with the chat. It's like really small, so David's here to help me with the chat. I will get to all the stuff in the chat, but the flooring is by a brand called Florify, and the type is Click Lock VOC. Again, as the name kind of suggests, it click locks into place rather than having to glue it or anything.
Is it made out of wood,
No, it's vinyl. It's like vinyl planks. Because even with like wood, that still comes with the risk of any kind of oils being released from wood. There's so many risks. I mean, you wonder how people cope with all these birds. But what we're going to do, Louie's being noisy. We're going to pop Olive and Charlie back because they're getting very interested in chewing the laptop, and we don't really want that. So you going to come here? Good boy. Can you say bye, everybody? See you later, and we'll get some other birdies out. Okay, we're going to go back in there. Right, there we go. Come on then. Say bye, everyone. And we'll get some other birdies. There we go. So smart. Should we have chicken fish, guys? Should we have the teals? Because I don't often have them in my live streams. It's normally Pickles and Scampi, isn't it? Come on, big boys. Oh my goodness, here we go. Oh my goodness, it's the baby brothers. Hello. Chip's a bit more shy. Who's that? Is it Shushy Man? Who is it? Who is it? He's like, I just want the snacks. Typical cockatiels. Just want a cheeky little snack. Right, what have I... Yes, let's do some questions because I've got loads to update. But
so let's start with what Anna said. She's in the chat. Said how to keep my birds warm in the winter, which is actually someone that Nervol has asked as well. Wanted to ask, how to keep all the teals warm, and then obviously what seeds are high quality seeds. So how to keep birds warm and what high quality seeds.
So let's start off with keeping your birds warm in the winter. Excuse me, I've got a weird throat today. So keeping your birds warm in the winter. Generally speaking, birds are quite adaptable. However, we generally say the safest and best way to keep your bird warm in the winter is to keep your home, or at the minimum, your bird room, a minimum of kind of room temperature. So for Celsius, is it Celsius? We say like 20 degrees, 18 minimum at night, and then minimum 20 during the day. We can have it a little bit warmer than that in the winter. But I know that the cost of living crisis is very, very difficult for so many families, and having the heating on to that temperature is very challenging. But what I say is, it's not just for the bird's health, it's for your health as well. It's, for the home's health in a way, like to keep it a good temperature and not too cold, because then other things can happen as well. So generally speaking, we say, try and keep the room at a good temperature. If anyone wants to do the conversions for Fahrenheit, go for it. 18 and 20. I don't know how to do the maths. But you kind of want to have it at room temperature consistently. You don't want huge fluctuations in temperature, because that is what can make your bird unwell, because they're having to adapt constantly to being okay and then being too cold and having to fluff up and all that kind of stuff. So generally speaking, we say have the room at a good temperature, and then your birds will be fine. There are devices you can get, like bird warmers. I think it's by like K&H, and you put it next to the cage. I don't really... I told you the chaos would start. I don't really...
Wow.
I don't really recommend having... What is going on? I will get to it in a second.
Come here.
What are you doing? Is it because that towel's on the floor, perhaps?
Maybe. Let me pop them back here. Then
My goodness, what a palaver. This is a daily basis. Fully flighted, can have all the fun. So there are cage warmers and things like that, and metal panels that you can put up against the cage. I don't really recommend that, because it means having something electrical near your birds, and whilst they say they've got like circuit breakers, so they're safe, I don't think that that's worth it. I don't think it's economical as well. I think it's better to try and heat the room. That will keep them at a more comfortable temperature, rather than having one tiny heat source and then the rest of the room being cold. But I do have a whole video on that. Again, if you have any kind of questions and you're waiting for me to reply, if you search my channel, like keep birds warm in the winter, the video will probably come up. And I have some other kind of things to talk about in there as well. And it's all about usually trying to insulate your home better and that kind of thing, and just keeping, even if you have to just do one room because of finances and things, just try and keep the bird room, or the room where the birds live, a good temperature. And then as for seeds, there are lots of different seeds that are safe for birds. We always recommend going where you can for human grade ones, because they're higher quality. But I do have my DIY seed mix video again on my channel for lots of different seeds. Again, a lot of the time, it's all about moderation. So again, some people kind of say that sunflower seeds are terrible, but actually they're only terrible if that's the only thing you feed, or the majority thing. It's all about moderation, because using sunflower seeds for foraging and training is totally healthy. They're high in vitamin E and healthy fats. It's all about moderation and making sure that your birds are getting lots of different things. So yes, hopefully that answered your question with the chaos of the boys in the background. And then David is hopefully going to help me keep up with the chat, because the text is so small and I've got this going on.
Somebody's just said, my baby sun conures are biting me very hard without any reason. Do you have any tips to prevent that? I mean, find out what the reason is.
Yeah, there's always a reason for biting. Birds don't just bite just for the sake of it. It could be just because they're beaking, because they're kind of exploring the world, because conures typically do that with their beaks. It could be the case of they're a bit nervous or unsure. It could be that you need to teach them manners through soft target training. There's lots of different reasons why birds do that. Again, diet plays a huge role in bird behaviour. There's lots of different areas that you can look at to find out why a bird might be biting, but there is always a reason, even if the reason is that they're just exploring the environment. Hopefully that answers your question. What we got?
Well, everything was good. His mum seemed we'd gone out for a few hours and came back and everything was mad, biting, and angry. Well, what happened in that time, I wonder?
Yes, that's kind of why we have a pet cam. Again, link in my Amazon store. You can get decent pet cams, and you can do subscription services where they send you video clips of when there's movement, and you may find that maybe, I don't know, a magpie flew past the window and that kind of freaked him out and put him on edge. There's lots of different things that can cause that to happen. Again, they're prey animals, so they can get nervous about all different kinds of things. Do you want to come over and say hello?
He says no.
Would you like to come over and say? We're having Mr. Shushy Man. Here he is. Oh, you want to be with your brother, don't you? Okay, it's just me today, guys. I'm sorry. I know you're here for the birds, really, but it's just me. Any other questions that I've missed so far?
Sorry, not that I've noticed.
Let's have a peek. Oh, there's one here about how do you go about feeding your birds mealworms?
Oh, sorry, I did that in chat, but yeah.
Oh, okay. No, if David's already done, that's fine. Mealworms are good. Live mealworms, that is. Dried ones. The boys are in a funny mood. It may have to be Pickles and Scampi at this rate. Dried mealworms for like wild birds are generally just kind of like the crusty exoskeletons. They're not actually full of nutrition. You can get freeze-dried mealworms, especially in the US. I think they're by Fluker's Farms. But in the UK, they're kind of hard to get. So live is the way to go. And then you can feed them a good healthy diet, because you want to feed your live food good food, so that then gets transferred to any animals that may eat them. Speaking of eating, Chip's currently eating the curtain pole because this is what they do. They're cheeky little brothers. We're going to give you one more try, and then I think we're going to have Pickles and Scampi out because you're being quite cheeky.
You just want more training, don't you?
You want to do some training with Daddy while we chat. Let's have a look.
More.
Right, so thank you so much for watching my video, Steph. I just saw that. I'm not just singling one person out, but it's really hard for me to keep up and chat on my own. But thank you so much for watching my videos. I hope that you guys find them useful, find value in them. There are so many of them. I think there's easily about 500 between mine and David's channel. So that, you know, most of the answers are going to be on there. And if they're not, just drop us a message, because we're always happy to chat to anybody. Right, let's have a look. I won't ever give my mealworms alive. Yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody. You don't have to. It's not an essential. Our guys, sometimes they're a bit unsure of them. Some of them kind of know how to eat them naturally, but it is another thing that you can add to the diet. Right. Again, any questions, guys, drop them in the chat. I'm just going to go through some of the other things on my list. One of the exciting things that's coming up is David and I are presenting at, I'm going to read it out because it's long, the International Avian Conservation and Education Series. So this is something that's being run by our friend, Dr. Jason Crean, who is an avian nutrition specialist and biologist and educator and all-round good guy. And there's going to be a series of, I think, oh my goodness. Would you mind doing the honours and popping them back?
I'll see if they want to sit with me.
Okay, they may sit with Daddy. So in this series, there's going to be, I think, approximately, at the moment, 15 presentations. There are some more being added. And this is like Zoom webinars, presentation stuff. David and I are going to be presenting at this about how to create a great relationship with your bird. And there are loads of other speakers, and it's going to be a really exciting event. You don't have to attend every single webinar series, whatever you want to call it, session, because some of them, for example, for us, because they're hosted in America by Jason, they're in the middle of the night. So if you want to sign up to this, the fee is $85, and that gives you access to all 15 and any other presentations, and you can watch them back. And there's so many specialists, there's avian vets coming to present as well. And, you know, this isn't just going into Jason's pocket. He's just doing like a webinar series. This actually, the proceeds go to the Avian Preservation and Education Conservancy and St. Xavier's University's Animal Nutrition Lab. And they are actually doing the research and studies that people are asking for on raw whole food nutrition and birds, and how it actually affects birds and that kind of thing. So if you want to support the nutrition research that people want to see, as well as general bird welfare, that's what the proceeds are going to. And $85 for over like 15 presentations is crazy value, and you do get to watch them back and stuff. So I'd highly recommend it. I will have a community post on YouTube going up soon with the information on there, so you can sign up, or you can access it from Jason's group on Facebook, which is Avian Raw Whole Food Nutrition, or you can message me on Instagram or wherever else you'd like. It's definitely going to be a really awesome event, so we're looking forward to presenting on that. Have we started the presentation? No. So we will.
Interesting question here, which I quite like, from Rochelle. Halloween is coming. Is it terrible to try to train your bird to wear a hat or like costume? We've obviously seen that online before. So what's your opinion? I'll give my opinion as well, but what's your opinion on that?
So it could be good decent work to get your bird used to things being around them, because obviously when it comes to like vet visits, they may be a bit more confined. I think it's all about using positive reinforcement and consent-based stuff. So if you're doing some of this training, you're doing it in baby steps, and they're responsive to it, that's great. You can take your little photo op if they're willing. Make sure you're giving them lots of treats and stuff. I wouldn't put anything really restrictive around them as a costume, because obviously that's not very pleasant. You could put like a little witch's hat on or something. That'd be kind of fun. But if your bird is not receptive to it and they're scared of it and they don't want anything to do with it, then in my opinion, it's not worth doing, because they need to go back, I think. So I don't mind it. It's good decent. But yeah, what's your opinion?
I think it's fine. I think it's fine to get them to wear.
Here he is.
I think it's fine to get them to wear a hat and stuff. Some costumes, as Sophie said, are fine as well, as long as they're not restrictive. But I would try and avoid any hat that has something that hangs over underneath their face, because that could scare them and also potentially be a hazard to them. We like novelty training of our birds. It's fun as long as it's not going to do them any harm, and as Sophie said, it's consent-based. So, if you fancy doing it, give it a try. Just make sure it's not restrictive.
Yeah, exactly.
Or unsafe, potentially. I mean, it might be cute to have them hold a little, like, jack-o'-lantern for a little thing and run around.
Miniature. That would be very cute. And if you do any of these, make sure you send me the pictures, because I'd love to see it. I think that'd be really fun. But I think Chip and Fish are going to go home. We're going to get Pickles and Scampi out, because they are way too excited. They're trying to. Lives, isn't it? It's always during lives, because they know that they're not. They're not giving the full attention.
You come in as well.
Hello.
Wow.
Oh my goodness! Wow. It's the babies. Do you want to come? All right. Do you want to come? Are you excited? It's Pickles B. It's Pickles B. Pickles B. Here she is. Mr. Teeny, what bedding do we have on the play stand? So at the moment, this is just crinkle paper, just like natural coloured. Hello, Scampi do. Natural coloured crinkle paper. Obviously, I'm a brand ambassador for Easy Chick, so it is often Easy Chick, but I've got loads of crinkle paper left, so we're just using that, some of it at the moment. And then underneath that is just some plain paper, just to kind of catch any of the poops and stuff. Don't be mean to him, you're too excited.
One other question as well, how do you birds get on with each other, basically, because they fight? I mean,
I've got a video on that. I'm going to say, yeah, we both do. Okay, I'm going to poopy on my notepad. Thank you so much. I do have a video on that. As I said, if you ever have a question, make sure you check out mine and David's channels. There is a search function, and you just want David, don't you? Nobody wants me today. Nobody loves me, Scampi. Do you love me? Make sure you use the search function, because there's probably a video. Mine is called How to Bond Two Birds. So you can check that out. But yeah, there's loads of resources on there. We try to make videos on as many topics as we can think of to help people. So there's usually a free resource there. We do have extra videos on Patreon. Well. We do have our videos on Patreon, which is our subscription service, which you don't have to sign up to if you don't want to. But if you do, then there's, I think, at least 100 posts on there with videos and text posts, blog posts, photos, all sorts on there. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about Patreon, it is on my channel in the About section. But yeah, there's usually a video. And if there isn't, you can always request videos. We love a request. So if there is something that we haven't made a video on, do let us know. There are some things we can't make videos on. For example, separation anxiety. Oh my goodness, it's so loud today. Separation anxiety is not something that we would make a video on, because it is so complex. What you doing? But more often than not, we can usually make a video on what you would like to see. My goodness me, Scampi do. You say, ooh, ooh. We're all getting very loud. Do you want some snacks? Do you want some snacks? Ooh, up you go. Here's some for Pickles pee. I think you might have to give Lou and Kipling a couple of snacks. So Lou and Kipling don't come up to the live streams, and people probably think, wow, you're so mean for not getting Lou and Kipling out. But I guarantee you, if Kipling came out, he would march straight over to here and end the live stream. He loves to attack laptops. He loves to destroy them, and it's stressful. So we don't get them out for live streams. He's also very angry about the camera. So they're not always in our videos, but don't be worried about that. They're always out and about with us during the day, playing and having fun and stuff like that. They're a bit camera shy, so they don't want to be on the camera. Yeah, Alice, the conure posture, it's so funny. Olive loves doing it as well. Pickles, she kind of does it, but she more puffs out her chest and kind of marches around like that. Louis does the conure posture as well. Yeah, Kipling's a really cheeky monkey. He's literally like a bull in a china shop. He's chaotic and full of beans, but he can be so soft sometimes. And yeah, he and David are getting on so well. He loves his smushy cuddles from David, and he loves his scritches and stuff, which is so cute. So we do love him, but he just doesn't want to participate in live streams and videos, and that's okay. We're not going to make our birds do it just because we are influencers. Hate that word, but we're not going to make any of our birds participate in anything they don't want to. So that's another thing. Any other questions for me so far?
What are your thoughts on bird harnesses? Yeah,
I've got no issue with harnesses. The best ones are poops all over my hand. The best ones are leathers for feathers, which I believe are on Etsy, or aviator. The only problem with harness training, it's probably one of, if not the hardest behaviours to train for your bird, like fully consent based. Again, you'll see lots of tutorials online of how to train your bird to accept a harness, and they're like, bird in the harness, like that, and then it's like, ta-da, it's done. And that's not how you train harness training. Flock Talk, who is another creator on YouTube, has a fantastic harness training video, which is super consent based, broken down into tiny little steps. Love that. So if you can train your bird to wear a harness, that's amazing. We did start the training with Pickles and Scampi. It was Pickles and Scampi, wasn't it? For the harness training. Yeah. And they both of them, unfortunately, while we were doing the training, spooked because a bird flew past the window during the training, and now they're scared of the harness. So it's not an essential for us.
We just don't really focus on it because we just don't need to.
No, they can go out in the birdie backpack to get some sunshine and stuff like that. So we don't have to use a harness. Obviously, our dream is to have aviaries and stuff like that, but that's a long way off yet because the economy. If you
barely manage the flooring,
£1,000 on the flooring, and the aviaries are in the distant future, but it's fine. It's going to be okay. We're going to have a nice floor. It's going to be lovely.
We're going to be able to wipe it instead of the scrubbing.
So much easier to clean. We go through quite a lot of the poop off spray bottle because obviously we have carpet and it's not great. We've wanted to change it for such a long time, but now we're finally taking the plunge and doing it. But yeah, cool. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'll go through some of my other bits and bobs. No?
Oh, sorry. No,
David's not even paying attention. I'm going to say something quickly. We're not going to go too much into it, but it's very exciting. So you know how Pickles and Scampi and Jimfish have these Liberta Oregon flight cages? They're going, and they are getting. Am I allowed to say what they're getting? They're getting those ones. We've got them already. There's going to be videos on mine and David's channel. It's going to be very exciting. So make sure you are subscribed if you're not already. We're excited about that because we're not happy with the quality of those ones.
We can't recommend them anymore either because they're just not good enough.
They're literally falling apart, and we haven't had them for very long. So we're not impressed, are we, Pickles? But we are excited. Can you do some flipping as well? We're excited to change things up. And we did want to change them up anyway, but now it's kind of like we need to change them up. Thank you for subscribing, everyone. Cool. Any other questions for me?
I can't say I've noticed too many.
That's cool.
I've been catching up with them as they've been popping up, really.
Sweet. Cool. Guys, if you do... Oh, here we go. Have you ever tried potty training with your parrot? So that is a proper controversial topic. You have opened the can of worms. No, we don't agree with formal potty training for birds because it can cause health problems. You don't want your bird holding in their poop because they're waiting for you to tell them where to go. You can do informal potty training where they know that it's not safe, but they know it's acceptable to go in certain places, or Sometimes, we'll offer our birds to go poops over the bin instead of on the floor. And if they go, we'll say, okay, cool. If they don't go, that's fine as well. The thing with potty training is you don't want to heavily reinforce it. You don't want to offer treats for it because Scampi's being so naughty.
I don't know. Oh, whoa. I don't even know what he's done.
It's fine. It's still open. So, you don't want to formally potty train your bird using treats. You can use very, very calm verbal praise if they happen to go somewhere you want them to, but you don't want to do traditional potty training where they're not allowed to go until you say, birdie poops or whatever it may be, because it does lead to problems where sometimes they won't poop in the cage, sometimes they won't poop out of the cage, sometimes they're literally just waiting to be told to go poops, and that's not a good thing. They go every sort of 10 to 15 minutes, and there's no way to completely control that. It's one of the things you kind of have to sign up to when you have a bird, is there's going to be poops. Like, she pooped on my notepad down here. I've got bird poop on my back. There's just poops everywhere, and it is just vegetable matter. But some people don't like
that kind of thing. On me now. So he came over for a drink. He's wiping himself off.
He hates having a wet beak. So that's my thoughts on potty training. I don't really agree with it.
How do you deal with that much noise? You just tolerate it.
You don't really have a choice.
You can train most. You can train some of it, but most of it's just tolerance. RM also keeps asking about the painting. I swear I responded to that in the chat, but
so I'll talk about both. So with the painting, all the bird cages left the room because we used zero VOC painting. There was no harmful chemicals at all. It's completely safe to use while the birds are still in the house, but obviously we'd never paint in the same room as them because then they'll just get covered in paint, and that's not good for anybody. So it was simple. It's not an enjoyable process. I don't like DIY or painting or anything like that, so we got it done as quickly as we could. Worked as a team, got it done, and now there's fruit and probably bird poop on the walls, but it's okay. It's fine. It's just part of having birds, and we'll probably paint again. What was the other question? The noise. How do we deal with the noise? It's part and parcel. It's like the poops. It's just one of those things that birds do. You can't silence them. Obviously, they're a bit noisier because I'm just talking non-stop, and that's really overstimulating, especially for the conures, because loud kind of talking is exciting for them. But it is kind of one of those things that you kind of have to live with when it comes to birds. And I do have tinnitus in my ears. I have bad hearing because I've worked with birds for so long, because over time it will just destroy your hearing. And some of them really do reach, I think it's like the Nande conure is one of, if not the loudest species. And it's like the same as like a jet engine or something. It's really, really loud. So they will destroy your hearing. They will destroy everything you love. But Pickles P, they're adorable. Can you do wings? Wings! Good girl. And thank you, K Singapore 6. Very kind of you. You're very generous, as I've said many times. I really appreciate being here, and I love the little emoji. I can't tell what it is though. What do you think it is?
A little like
a little Shiba Inu. They're adorable. I love it. And you are just getting all the treats, aren't you? I'm just giving you treats for nothing, really. I'm not even misbehaving. I'm just plying you with treats. Can we do another wings? Wings. So the funny thing with Pickles is with the wings behaviour, I talked about this before. She has she's gonna spook. Down she goes. She has, oh my goodness, what is going on? I'll tell you in a minute. Oh my goodness, she might want a drink after all that.
He's already had one.
She might though. Whilst they calm down after the little spook, because of course more birds go past the window, she has multiple cues for the same behaviour. So with her wings behaviour that I was just doing, I can say wings and she'll do it. I can just like mumble it like and she understands the pitch of my voice. I can do 2 fingers like that, do 1 finger, I can do thumbs. It doesn't really matter. She's got so many different cues for one behaviour, and I just think that's really fun that you can do multiple cues for different behaviors, because sometimes you may want to train with words, sometimes you may want to just train with your hands if you want a silent training session, because that's actually something not necessarily advanced, but something that you can try if your bird has different cues and SDs and stuff like that, because quite often more of what they kind of learn from it is our body language and our body position, hand position, kind of things like that, rather than what's coming out of our mouths, because obviously they don't speak our language, but body language is something that they can understand and stuff. So Let's have a quick look here. What tricks do your birds know? A lot.
Yeah, loads of them.
Each bird knows a different amount of tricks. For example, we've got wave, spin, high five, flip, shake hands, tidy up, recall station, fetch. What else? Wings. Did I say wings?
I think so. Then you've got the
Targeting.
Tidy up is like multiple different things.
Yeah, tidy up is like it's multifaceted. So yeah, they know a lot, and we're always training. At the moment, we've started training the birds to spin the opposite direction because again, it's a simple behaviour, but it's like kind of retraining it, but training it differently.
Oh yeah, hoop jumping.
Hoop jumping. Thank you, Iris. Yeah, we're doing that, especially with Charlie at the moment, who is a superstar. I did a Train Me Tuesday on Patreon where we showed the process of starting it. I will do an updated one when we make more progress, but he is making a lot of progress with increasing the distance. He's just starting to learn how to hold his wings to his body when he goes to the hoop because he's a little bit clumsy at the moment, and he'll just keep his wings out, and obviously it touches the hoop, which is not what we're looking for. So that is a really fun thing that we are doing with him, and he's so incredibly smart. Scampi's been doing a little bit of it as well. Louis and Kipling know it from their previous home, so Louis is very good at it. Kipling doesn't really want to do that training at the moment, which is fine. So yeah, it's all good fun.
Do you think a green cheek colony is suitable for apartment living?
Well, I think it kind of depends on your apartment, really. We live in what you would call an apartment. And if you have really thin walls and you have sensitive neighbours, perhaps it's not going to work for you, or you live on the bottom floor. None of those things apply to us. We've never had any noise complaints, never had any problems, nothing like that. So potentially, it really depends. And you'll get some really loud green cheeks, you'll get some quieter green cheeks, but they all have the capacity to make a lot of noise. And thank you very much, Sheena, for your generosity as well. 2 members of the Naughty Club today. Again, don't expect it, but you guys are really, really sweet. Thank you so much, and hugs and love back to you as well.
I mean, if you live in London, you might as well just go and get one off the street because there's so many they're thinking of dealing with. So.
Yeah, so just quickly, Kirsten, I know David said it. Yeah, we've got 8 birds, lots of birds. So when it comes to buying ringnecks, honestly, I'd look for rescues if you can, or rehomes, because there are so many rescue and rehome ringnecks in homes because they're incredibly challenging to live with. When they scream, it's piercing. Their beak is so strong. When you are thinking about cage setup for them, because their tail is so long as well. Some people think about putting them in like the Liberta Oregons. It's not really going to be big enough for a ringneck because they've got that long tail. That's taking up just like double their, the whole kind of body tail combined is like the same. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. You know what I'm trying to say? It's long. It's a long tail, and that needs to be taken into consideration when you are looking for a cage and that kind of thing. But they are exceptionally noisy, noisier than our birds here. Their bite is much stronger, and yeah, there's lots to think about there. So I'd highly recommend going for a rescue rehome if you can, but I can't recommend anywhere to buy one personally because I don't know. Cool. So what was I going to talk about? I love how no one wants to sit with me today. I feel very lonely over here. You a scam? Would you like to wheel over with the birds?
I'm trying to keep the birds in
it's
shot
supposed
and
to
me out.
It's supposed to
He wants to sit on my sleeved hand. He doesn't really sit on the normal hand today. He keeps wanting to wipe his beak on it.
Oh my! Okay, literally wants nothing to do.
He's funny. He's such a funny one with this because he likes to sit on fabric. He'll come onto the hand, but he likes to sit and rest
Something
on fabric.
about it, isn't it?
With Pickles, as you can see, likes to sit on the head.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, guys. It's just going to be me. I hope that's okay. I know you're so cheeky. So yeah, any other questions, guys? Drop them in the comments because I would love to speak to you. I'm gonna have a little sip of my drink. Right. Let's see where we are with my notes. So, yeah, ringnecks are very challenging birds. They're very sensitive creatures. Challenging, but they are one of my favorites. Again, in an ideal world, I would love to have a blue male Indian ringneck who tells me he loves me. But Charlie tells me he loves me, so yeah, I've kind of got that done. I've got Olive, who's a blue bird, so I'm kind of covering all the bases there. Laura is very naughty. Thank you so much for your generosity as well. It's very, very kind of you, Laura, also in the Naughty Club today. Thank you so much for being here and for your support and stuff like that. It's very, very sweet of you. And I love the little emoji, like the ponytail, like, love it. And I need to get my hair cut, but I really don't want to do it. So I kind of feel like that, like I can make a little heart out of my hair. It's so expensive to get your hair cut. So I kind of do it like once a year. And I just grow it all out because my hair grows so quickly. So I might just I get a lot of it off. Sick of it. But anyway, back to birds. Again, we've had a lot of people, both in consults and on DMs and stuff like that, talking about, should I get another bird? Like, is that a good idea? I've got a great relationship with my one bird. Should I get another one? Is it going to ruin my relationship with my existing bird? And honestly, as we've said quite a few times, and this is no shame or shade or anything on people who have one bird, but what's up?
He's just fluffing up and sitting here.
I just want to snuggle with David. A multi-bird household is something that we are very, very passionate about, because birds can live fantastic lives in your home as a single bird. However, we can only offer them so much of their social needs because we are not birds, as much as we would probably prefer to be. We are not, I'm not a conure, I'm not a cockatiel. I can't give those birds what they need from me, and they are a flock species. So while they can live fantastic lives with loving owners who do their very best for them, there may always be just that tiny little bit that's not being met. So to speak. It sounds quite harsh, but I hope that you guys kind of know what I mean. Don't worry, don't worry about being late. It's fine. Come on in. Look at these guys.
Yeah, I was just saying to see them.
So this is a good example, right? So people say, oh, if I get another bird, my bird won't love me. We got Scampi and Pickles at completely different times. Like Pickles is older than Scampi, and as you can see, they both want to hang out with David. Absolutely love a snuggle. Scampi is such a mummy's boy. He's always like hiding in my hair and having a cuddle, and Pickles loves me too. But they love each other, and they get so much of their social needs and enrichment met by being with each other. And it's really rewarding to see. And even if you have another bird, you decide to get another bird and they don't get along as best friends and they perhaps live in separate cages, they'll still be able to communicate in the same language because they'll be the same species. And that will be fulfilled that way, because not all birds are going to be best friends, but you can always achieve tolerance. Again, I have that video on how to bond two birds together. But, we have 4 pairs here. So, we've got quite a lot of examples here. Chip and Fisher brothers, so they came from the same clutch. So that's kind of the way it is. They don't like to preen each other, but they although they're brothers, we say like they're an old married couple because they can't be together and they can't be apart. It's really funny. They really love each other's company, but at a distance with their own personal space. Whereas, Charlie and Olive, they're in love. They love each other. Adorable. Kip and Lou, again, they came together, but they were separate rehomes in their previous home. They love each other, even though Kipling is very over the top. We've got Pickles and Scampi who love each other. It is so rewarding to see a bird have a relationship with another bird. And if you can offer your bird that, it's such a gift. And I know that not everybody is able to for one reason or another. And, as I said, there's no shame or shade on that. You have to do what's right for your situation and that kind of thing. In terms of like costs and stuff, I don't necessarily think that it's hugely more of a cost. The initial outlay of maybe having a separate cage, or you could try and get one secondhand. But if they do end up living in the same cage together, like ours do, it's similar. We've got the diet. We buy bulk buy our stuff anyway, so it's just kind of the way it is. There's just food there. Obviously, vet bills are going to be more expensive, and you will have to buy a few more toys. But generally speaking, I wouldn't say that having a second bird is significantly more expensive to keep than just having the single bird. And it also frees up maybe some of your mental space because they're getting that companionship from their friends. And I'm not saying that means that you can just be out all day and all night and never be around your bird, but it means that your bird can have that companionship and social needs met whilst maybe you need to go to work or school, university, a day out. That might be nice once in a while. And it does give you peace of mind that they are entertained and not lonely and that kind of thing. So I just wanted to kind of go off on a real ramble about that, really. I'm not really sure why I decided, but a lot of people are talking about it at the moment. So Yeah, we are very much pro multi-bird household, as you can tell, because we've got so many birds. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? What you doing, little Scram? Busy wiping your beak.
Scampi.
Have you had a snack? You Scampi do? You come in. He's like, no, I might if for a sunflower seed. Are you going poopy? There's so much going on. You come in. Should we see some birds? Have I got any questions?
Not really. It's people making statements rather than anyone asking anything.
Yeah, so Quaffle and Lyra, yeah, we've seen that in your videos and stuff like that, Pioneer Tales. Make sure you go and subscribe. Yeah, exactly. Scampi agrees. You know, birds don't have to get, like, for example, here's a good example. So before we had all the other conures, we started off with Chip and Fish, and then we rescued Pickles. Pickles still got companionship and some of her social needs met through Chip and Fish. And although they're not the same species, it's still obviously a bird interacting with a bird is very different to a bird interacting with a human. And she got a lot of companionship for that. But obviously we knew that we needed to get her a friend eventually, because it would be good for her. Look at the way he's just flipping.
It's because you only got one.
I know, and he loves it. We'll do one more. It's his favourite behaviour though. Like he could just flip all day. He loves it.
A couple of questions in.
Yeah, I'll just finish what I was saying first, because I wanted to say, as the main man is here, it's almost Scampi's gotcha day. We got him nearly 3 years ago now, which is crazy. Are we going to flip again? And he was only a little baby when we got him, and we are his fourth home. This is why, if anyone thinks I'm just preaching or whatever when I talk about rescues and rehomes, it's because there are hundreds of thousands of birds. Pickles just pooped on my leg. This is what I'm talking about.
Oh, I love the way it's nice to come over to you.
Scampi's posturing. Pickles is pooping. We're just trying to get through the live stream. Yeah, if anyone thinks I'm preaching about rescues or whatever, it's because we see it firsthand. You know, Scampi is a perfect example. He wasn't even a year old, and we were his fourth home. Oh, what's up? Oh, Scampi. So let's have some questions.
Okay. Yeah. What's the biggest, most important advice you give to a new bird owner?
This is going to be a controversial one from David's previous live. Do some research. It's okay to do research. Get your research from multiple sources. Don't just take one person's word for it. Don't watch my videos and take my word for it. Don't just watch David's videos. Get your information from multiple sources. If anyone claims to be like the oracle of knowledge and only they have the knowledge, that's not accurate. It's not right. You know, we try to make as much of our information free. Like 99% of everything we make is free for everybody to access. You can even read bad information and learn from it and learn, hey, this doesn't sound right. I'm going to do some more looking into that. But I would highly, highly recommend. What do you want? What have you got to say? Highly recommend not just jumping into it. Don't do anything on impulse and try and get things right. You know, diet plays such a huge impact on bird behavior. You want to learn, you know, what training is, so you can be prepared for that. You want to make sure you have the finances ready and do some research and information on that kind of thing. So there's lots of what? Yeah, apparently this is controversial at the moment. I don't know why it's controversial, but you should be doing research and from multiple sources, not just one YouTuber, not just one influencer, not just one area. There's lots of information out there, especially free to access information. Or should we say it, Scampi? If you want bespoke, affordable consultations, you can contact us at Best Behaved Birds. Why shouldn't I plug our own business? As I said, 99% of the stuff we make is free. But yeah, actually trying to understand what you might be getting yourself into will hopefully prevent more birds from going into, you know, parrot rescues. Thank you so much, Alice, for your generosity. You're very naughty as well. You guys are so cheeky, honestly. Like, I really appreciate each and every one of you. Please don't feel obliged to do anything like this. Scampi, no one wants to see your back end. But thank you very much. It's very, very sweet of you. And yeah, love to all the birdie community. I've just been talking for ages. So yes.
Question. There's loads of questions. That's why. So the first question is keeping a schedule best for parrots.
So some trainers will say all routine and schedules are bad. Some will say you absolutely have to have a regimented schedule. We like to go in the middle and say some routine and schedule is good. For example, having rough meal times is very good. Having set kind of wake up, having set wake up and sleepy time is good. for that kind of routine. However, the rest of the day can be a bit more random, whether that's your enrichment or your training, foraging and that kind of thing, whether they go out and about on an outing with you safely. That can all be random, but sleep and meal times are something that we think are a bit more important to have on a rough schedule. It doesn't have to be to the minute, but it can create some more anxiety. Actually, some people say that having no routines helps with anxiety, but sometimes it can actually cause anxiety if they have no idea when they're going to get their meal, especially for a prey animal. That can be quite scary, and especially for birds who have high metabolisms, that can be very scary as well.
Not there, please.
Scampi, naughty boy. Yes, that's my thoughts on that. What other questions do we have?
Thank you. I mean, that's unlikely to happen, Rehan. I'm sorry. We won't be doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
we are like available
Rehan,
most days of the year, and that's one.
Do you know what? One day I did think, maybe it would be interesting, but it's not that interesting. We play board games, we watch the movies, we watch Lord of the Rings in the evening, we have a meal that's cooked by us, and we're not chefs. It's not good. The birds have their outings, and it's not that exciting. I don't think anyone would really be tune in. I don't think anyone would tune in really, but yeah. Let's do some questions, because I'll be here for about 10 more minutes.
Do you guys have troubles with your motivation with your birds? If so, do you have any tips?
Sometimes, but sometimes it's about thinking why. Why have they got low motivation? Is it because they've just eaten their whole breakfast and then we want to train and their whole crop is full? Is the quality of the seed that we're offering good or bad, or is it a bit different? Or what's the weather like? What have they been up to? Are they tired? Have they been busy? There's lots of different reasons why motivation might be a key. So I think sometimes it's really good to try and evaluate the reasons why your bird might not be motivated. Do another treat hierarchy test to see what your bird's favourite treat is in case that's changed. Have you got anything to add on that?
It's just that treat motivation is massively time of day, environmental factors.
Time of day.
Sometimes it's best to just take a break and come back to it, and also redo the test.
You can have a day off of training. There's nothing wrong with that, and just reassess if it's not going to plan.
What else have we got? I'm trying to do them in order. I have a male kakariki who's food aggressive and territorial during breeding season. Would love to get another one, but I'm scared it will not work out. Any recommendations? So
I would look at the hormonal issue.
I think you're going to have to go in.
Yeah, pop them in.
You're going to open up goodness knows what windows.
I would have a look at hormones as a whole. So have a look at the diet and what's going on there. I would be having a look at the sleep, the cage setup. There's lots of different things that you can look at when it comes to reducing hormonal behaviour, because hormones are natural. There'll always be some kind of hormonal behaviour going on, but we want to minimise it as much as possible. And whilst I'm sure you're doing a great job already, there may be some tweaks that you can make. Again, David's got a whole hormones playlist that may have some information that maybe you haven't seen before. So I would recommend trying to sort out that kind of behaviour first before introducing another bird.
Oh, let's before I reply to that, let's look at the next question so you can deal with that. I can't afford another cockatiel, so I was wondering if I can get a parakeet to keep my cockatiel company.
I assume by parakeet, I assume you mean budgie. I would say no, and that's because a lot of budgies or parakeets do tend to bully cockatiels. For some reason, like on the totem pole of a hierarchy of birds, cockatiels seem to be right at the bottom. They seem to get bullied by pretty much every other species. So if you've got a cockatiel, I'd say cockatiel's better. Again, don't forget that rescue and rehome centres will probably have a lower adoption fee, or I certainly hope so, in order to bring one in. So that might be another option for you. But quite often, budgies, even despite their size, will often pick on cockatiels, and then obviously you're going to have more of an issue there. So that's my thoughts on that. I think David probably agrees.
Yeah.
You heard it here. Right, cool. Let's have a look. I think RMs is next, which is, can birds be trained to lay on their backs? I've seen videos where they've done so. Yes, they can. Again, it comes with a lot of descent and trust work, because that is a very vulnerable position for a prey animal to be laying on its back. Need a lot of trust, a lot of bonding, and it takes a lot to kind of do the desensitization process to actually start tilting them. It's very unnatural for them. So it is possible. You are more likely to see it with birds like conures and stuff like that, who are a bit more playful, but not every bird is going to like that. For example, Pickles, she's only really done that couple of times. She hasn't done it for a long time, being on her back.
Yeah, it's like with some birds, especially like budgies and cockatiels, it's quite hard to do if they don't really want to do it.
Some cockatiels have, but it's very
babies.
it's a lot easier to
Like
it's a lot easier to do it with a youngster.
Why would you want to, though, honestly?
Why would you? I was supposed to like tickle their tummy, but it's not an essential. Although it could be used for husbandry purposes if you want to kind of restrain them that way and do it safely. But it's up there with probably some of the harder behaviours to train because it is so unnatural and makes them so vulnerable. Cool. Any other questions when you're ready, or are we caught up? I just want to talk on Laura's point. I'm not ignoring anyone. That's just the one that my eye has been able to read. Yes, David has a fantastic video on how some rescue centres will really try really hard to not actually adopt birds out to people, which is awful, honestly.
It's
because
irritating. It's very
do you want to
irritating.
come talk about it? Here he
I've
is.
already said it in chat.
Here he
I mean,
is.
I don't want to hijack anything, but it's just ridiculous, really. You know, we want birds to go to good homes, and yes, you want a rescue that is responsible and it needs to function, so it needs money to survive. But when they won't answer questions, when they insist about money up front, when they dictate to you what bird you can take, if you've got a cockatiel and you want another cockatiel to be a potential friend for them, you're not going to want to take a Amazon, are you? It just irritates us, or irritates me a lot. It's one of my biggest pet hates at the moment.
But it is a thing that's kind of across lots of different animal charities. I know a lot of dog places make it really hard for you to adopt dogs, and there are thousands and thousands of pets looking for homes, and there are so many suitable homes. But for some reason, these places unfortunately do put barriers in the way, and it's like, well, we want them to go to these good homes, which is why we want our rescue centre and our little dream world in our head where we actually have some money. That's something we'd love to have. We'd love a huge aviary full of rescued African greys and budgies, and obviously not in the same aviary, but you know what I mean. But for some reason, some places, rescue centres, just put so many barriers in the way, or they charge you a subscription service for your bird, like you have to pay on a regular basis to keep the bird.
Even that I can kind of understand if it was nominal, but really you should be paying an upfront cost, which is what funds the rescue, and then that should be it.
And also, for a lot of rescues, the bird is never yours. The bird will always belong to the rescue.
Well.
And I know that some people would justify it saying, well, it protects the bird, but ultimately, the legalities, they can kind of take the bird back when they want it, or I've heard all kinds of stories, which I'm not going to name and shame or anything.
It should be in the contract to say that if you mistreat it, they can take it back, not that they own it.
It's I'll leave it there because that's a whole nother live topic. We should probably do a topic on that on a live, because I'm only going to be here for a few more minutes, just because we've got to make dinner as well. Any other questions for me that I haven't answered?
One that Mr. Teeny for Discord later.
Okay, we'll be on Discord.
Greens that are great budgies, so you pop that in Discord. It's pretty useful for other people.
Yes. I also wanted to just point out the Discord. Some of you may not know what Discord is. It's like a live chat server, so we can kind of live chat together. That is a perk for being a YouTube channel member or a Patreon member. So if you would like to sign up to either YouTube channel or Patreon, you get access to our Discord server, which means that you can chat to David and I, plus our whole community of really, really lovely parrot community members, lovely people on there. You can ask for advice, you can share birdie pics. There's loads of resources on there. You can kind of talk to us on a more kind of snappy basis. I would say out of the options, Patreon is the best value, because if you go from the second tier upwards, you get access to those over 100 videos and stuff like that. So you don't have to sign up. If the idea of a live chat server where you can chat to David and I and lots of other parrot owners in a really friendly, safe space appeals to you, then do consider that, and just DM me anytime if you'd like to. What is going on?
So there's a really, really interesting question from someone called Ruth, and I've started answering it. Obviously, you can sort of say it. So I adopted a European starling. They have long beaks and don't eat seeds. Do you have any suggestions about starlings regarding toys and treats? I do give them dried and dried bugs. So I suggested mealworms, because obviously they're good for him, and obviously you get them vitamin D. I said toy-wise, easily stuff that's easily peckable and forageable, so you can hide stuff in it, so he has to dig through it, that he can actually get his beak through. There's
no reason why starlings couldn't have a foraging tray with some substrate and some kind of typical parrot foot toys or toy parts that they can move out the way with some crinkle paper or some easy chick or something. But I often find from speaking to other people who have those types of passerine-like birds, they like preening toys, so toys with kind of long natural fibres that they can preen and stuff. They also tend to like sort of auditory enrichment, so music and things. They like shiny things, colourful things, stuff like that. So not typical parrot toys where they chew, because they don't chew, but more kind of sensory toys that they can manipulate with their beak or look at or listen to and that kind of thing. But very cool bird.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Mhm.
I've not had a question like that before. I quite like them as well as a species.
They are very, very interesting. Have we got... see, everyone's loving Discord. So much love to Discord. You guys are selling it.
We even have sections in there so you can focus on what you enjoy most.
Yeah, so there's like help and advice, there's training, there's memes. We love a meme. If you want to talk about health stuff, obviously that goes in a separate section. There's diet section, which is a very busy one. There's, you know, just general chit chat. You can just chat like, you know, we're all real pals, we're all friends. So that's really fun as well. So do get in contact if that's something you are interested in. But I'm going to start rounding it up. So this is your last chance. Any burning questions right now is the only opportunity, because I am going to be going in a second, and we are going to have some food because I'm always hungry. I think I can hear the crickets of silence. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Again, anytime you can just drop me a message, because I would love to speak to each and every one of you. But thank you so much for coming today to the live stream. It's been really fun as always, and I really appreciate each and every one of you, especially Patreon members and YouTube channel members. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a blast, and hope to see you at the next one. Don't forget to check out all our videos on me and the Parrot Teacher. Go and subscribe. But from me, thank you so much for watching. Take care and see you later.